maybe they need to go back and look at their history and look at the commitment that the National Party has made. I must say, not expecting any votes out of it, but because it was the right thing to do. And a lot of maybe people in the National Party today more concerned about their careers than of the history and traditions of the National Party.
I think everybody's got their opinion, and former MPs, some have a habit of coming in and passing judgment on the current people that are in there trying to navigate their way through difficult issues. What we're trying to do is, talk about matters that affect all New Zealanders, just how we sort of navigate our way between honouring treaty commitments and treaty settlements and the treaty process, while never losing sight of the basic expectations that people have living in a modern democracy around equality. And so it shouldn't be a surprise that this is a difficult conversation, but, I think some of the calls that, even talking about it is somehow damaging, I think are overblown. Frankly, the previous Jacinda Ardern government pushed quite, I think, a lot further than where Middle New Zealand was at on a number of these issues. We remember Willie Jackson standing up and saying democracy has changed, and people would ask the question, well, when did we get a chance to talk about that? So there has been a fair amount of discussion in this area, and I think that's appropriate. What we're trying to do is do it in a constructive and respectful way. We agreed to have a first reading, go to select committee, and air the debate. But like I say, we think in terms of dealing with the broader that tension between honouring treaty commitments and the special nature of the treaty, and also the expectations of New Zealanders to live in a modern democratic society where everybody has an equal vote and treated equally before the law. That discussion needs to be had, and it's fair and appropriate that it should be had. Where we go through this discussion over the next few months, my plea is that we dial the temperature back a couple of notches and just talk about things in a calm and collective way. We're engaging in many respects across a whole bunch of things, and our basic message around the Treaty Principles Bill is, we're not supporting that because we think a referendum is a crude way to handle a sensitive topic. And our approach as a coalition government is better to work through these issues issue by issue, and you'll have covered many of the quite difficult conversations we're having around the marine and coastal area space, and pulling back or talking about the threshold for that, and pushing back on moves away from equal voting rights in local government. So there's a lot of things on the agenda that we're going through, but we think it's better to do that issue by issue rather than holus bolus in one piece of legislation. We have an MMP system in New Zealand, and we've got 6 parties in government. They're all vying for attention, and they all have a different view on these things. And so we're part of coalition negotiations. Arrangements are made, and we stick to those commitments. But I just think we've got to dial the temperature down a little and recognise that it is possible to talk about these issues without, thinking that the end of the world is going to occur.
What do you make of the opposition's conduct in the debating chamber?
They were stunts, and it was a very... it was quite aggressive at times in the debating chamber, more so than I've ever experienced in my life. And that wasn't just the Māori Party, it was Willie Jackson, it was Chlöe, Swarbrick. I don't think the best approach is to shout down other people, but is to come up with coherent arguments, and that's what certainly we try to do.